There we go. Go to my notepad. Now to wait. Oh, dang. There's a few people joining already. Oh, right away, huh? What if Shane didn't save Lori and Carl? I have what if Shane only saved one of them, and as for both of them, I believe that I have that saved also. But I have two separate what ifs for Shane only saving one of them. As for both of them, I either got rid of it because it wasn't like good enough for the story and it would just be like a one and done like obvious plot, which is the case for many stories, or I saved it and it's going to happen in the future. But hey, everyone who is joining, welcome to the Omniverse of Nick's Saturday Q&A. We're back at it again. Man, this time of the week always comes like really quick. It's insane. I'm also changing the background from now on. In the back here, you see it's a new screen from all the other ones. I'm going to change it up every Q&A now, just for variety. Hello. Hope you guys are enjoying the Cliff story and what it's worth, and all of my progress and updates on my stories and everything. I also, if I didn't make it clear on the community post or Discord, I'm taking a break from stories and everything except pre-recorded videos for the moment, since I am like so far ahead it's not even funny. I'm like 4 or 5 stories ahead of where I need to be, and it's insane. Next story that I am working on, which I teased, is the Tatum story. If the group didn't meet Randall's group, they probably just would have been extra characters that died at Terminus, because I'm going to be doing a what if on that, because it's very likely that they went to Terminus. Everyone thinks it, pretty much, because of how alike the people at Terminus that came there and, did what they did and then Terminus retaliated. It's just too alike Randall's group and like the Claimers, but it couldn't have been the Claimers. They were all together. And the funny thing is, this is the first break that I'm taking from working on YouTube stuff directly since I basically started the channel. And I literally probably, in all of my other channels and years of YouTube experience, this is probably one of the only breaks I've ever taken. And that's just insane to me, because I don't like taking breaks. If it's like something else other than YouTube and it's like required that you take a break or something like that, like a mandatory job, then that's obviously something you can't really control. But with YouTube, I just don't like taking breaks. I want to be able to work on stuff. So, yeah. That's why I want to make this my job. So how are you guys doing? What if Andrea didn't save Carol and she is saved by Michonne? So, like, what if Carol met Michonne? I don't think anyone ever recommended that to me before. So you know what? Why not? That'll be the first idea for the stream. I'm surprised no one ever recommended that to me. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a few people in here. It's usually how it goes. There we go. Got that. All right. So you guys doing good? Enjoying the stuff on the channel and just pretty much hanging in there, life and stuff? Basically just want to, interact more with you guys and everything since it's been kind of quiet. I know at least a few people are here. Don't want to just sit here saying nothing. It'd be kind of awkward. Not just talk about Q&A stuff or anything like that. But we got What If Carol Met Michonne? Just figured ask some stuff to the people who are in here, interact. What if Milton left Woodbury with Andrea? I feel that Milton would have only survived a little longer. I don't have a Milton-centered what if saved. I have made him survive pretty much to the end and long points in other stories. The McQueen one will also have him survive longer. But overall, it would only have prolonged his death by not even a season, I feel. You'd be lucky to not have it that way. Hey, Brayden! I haven't seen you in a long time. What if Michonne died instead of Andrea? Let me think. You know what? I was going to say that I have Andrea surviving in the vast majority of my stories, and I have Andrea-themed things planned. But that I actually can do. Because I can just make Andrea wield Michonne's katana as like a memoir or something. That actually works. And that's a good what if to come back to since I haven't seen you in a long time, Brayden. It's good to see you back on the channel and everything. Have you seen like the updates and like the videos and kept up and all that, or like anything like that? Yeah, still been watching the vids. Haven't been on the Q&A because I didn't have no ideas. Oh, that's perfectly fine. I say to everyone at the end of every Q&A, if you didn't make the stream or you didn't have any ideas or there are ideas that you wanted to put in, you could just literally recommend anything on my channel, no matter where it is. It could be on Discord, it could be on a community post, it could be on a stream, a video. I literally read, heart, and freaking reply to every comment, so it really doesn't matter. But it's perfectly okay that you didn't have any ideas. But it's good to see you back, though, and commenting. Long-term fans overall, I think a lot of people overall appreciate, because it's just nice to see fans that have been with you since the beginning, even if they like go in and out and everything, just to come back. It's really good to know. What is up, King Devin? Didn't get to see you for the last stream, but I am glad to see you with this one. Hope you guys like the background too. I'm changing it up every time now, like behind me. It's obviously not my background, but like the background outside of the background is kind of funny. Yeah. Lily and Tara swapped places. I have. I'm going to say I'm just leaving Lily's death as is. She really didn't do much besides like the governor. And even that was like, eh. We got two. We got Carol meeting Michonne, and we got Michonne dying instead of Andrea. So, those of you coming back, or in the stream, no, never mind. How have you guys been liking the Cliff Jumper story and the updates that I have been giving and all that? Speaking of updates, if you guys also saw, I'm still taking a break since I'm like 5 stories ahead of where I need to be, and everything like that. So this is the first break out of probably all my 7 years of doing YouTube that I've ever taken, because I'm that committed to YouTube. But I'm so far ahead, I'm just like, screw it, I'm gonna take a break. But the next story I'm working on is on that second batch. If you saw the community post in Discord, it's going to be Tatum's story that I'm working on. The McQueen story is coming up, and I know a lot of people are very anxious to see that. Like, a lot of people. And trust me, you're gonna be. What if Adam won in Saw instead of Dr. Gordon? A few Adam what ifs like that particular are saved. What if Carver was a whisperer? Oh, can you imagine? With Carver's military, with how strong he was, being like pretty much one of the strongest hand-to-hand fighters. Whisperer Carver? I can only imagine. Now, I do have a question, though. Should Carver replace Beta, or should he just be integrated and they just have one Reaper down and then Beta's still part of the Whisperers? Because I think that that's a valid question. I like the updates, but I'm not a Transformers fan, so I'm not really connected with the story. That's all right. That's more than okay. That's the thing with a lot of my stories. Not everyone's going to be like know every single franchise. It's just it's a human race. We're not all going to like, watch, or even acknowledge every single franchise. Me, I try to, which is what this channel is all about. And just my personal bias on any show, movie, and all that. I'm weird. Especially when it comes to horror movies, I'm a hoarder. That's kind of a weird way to say that, but yeah. Good. I liked the Casey surviving story. He could still be along with Beta. That would also mean that the Reapers are down a fighter. If Carver replaced him, would Beta be a Reaper? You know what? I'm just going to make Carver a Whisperer because there's already a what if saved. Someone recommended it, but Beta joining the Reapers. So overall, I'm just going to make Carver a Whisperer. They'll just be down a Reaper. So literally the Reapers in that story will be nothing. So I'm just going to... Can you imagine Carver and Beta working together? Beta's not like a... Beta's a brawler and a giant. He's not a hand-to-hand fighter. But Carver and Beta teamed up? You're asking for the story to be turned on its hinges. That's an awesome what if, actually, now that I'm looking at it more and more. So this is why I'm glad that, like, communities and everything, we can think of what ifs that no sole person can think alone. Like me, almost over 50% of the what ifs that you guys have recommended, I probably would have never thought of, which is definitely why I appreciate you guys for letting me in. And whenever I do those stories, in case someone forgets or if I forget or something like that, I shout them out, which hasn't happened in a while. I think it's down to me forgetting or like the folks forgetting or like maybe just folks getting banned or leaving, but definitely whenever I like do your guys' stories or something like that, if I forget, you can tell me and I will totally shout you guys out because you guys are much to thank for the vast majority of these stories. What if Negan never turned bad? That would basically be like, what if Lucille survived, which I've already done. I think I plan to do a remake, and I have a few other what ifs planned like that, with a similar premise, sort of. What if Simon joined the Reapers? I have Simon surviving, killing Negan, and a remake for that, along with a few other Simon what ifs. But him joining a separate group, I feel, is just not. I might have made that exception for like one what if, but I think that was Jadis just trading him to the CRM. Outside of that, I think that Simon was just best left where he was. Daryl and Morgan versus Beta and Carver. Why Morgan? Morgan by that time would have already been gone. I mean, that still would be cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying in terms of the story that we're going to be doing, he would already be gone by that point. Carver is a hand-to-hand brute. Beta is just a brute. He is a big, gigantic, brawling brute. That's nice alliteration. But your channel... Did you mean to cut off there? Or were you getting to something? What if the group killed Simon before the lineup? They would have all died. They were vastly outnumbered. So it literally would have ended with every single one of them dying. Rick and probably all of us thought at the beginning it was going to be like no big deal. But yeah, I would have basically just screwed the story. Oh, I didn't see the check mark up there. But your check. Are you talking about whenever I was discussing the? Oh, whenever I was discussing the what ifs and everything, you were just saying my channel's good or something. I'm just trying to understand. Now, while we're doing this, I want to know if there's something that I can show you guys from where I last left off on my work. No. By the way, the what if Morgan shot Jenny? Reason I got done with that so fast, I'm pretty sure I told you guys in the community post in Discord, but it's just because it's not going to be as long of a story as people might think, which I know will probably upset a lot of people. What if Daryl and Negan convinced Beta to join the group? I have Beta surviving and several other... I can't see them convincing Beta, but I do have Beta surviving and several other Beta what-ifs saved. Like, I even made Beta, like, very important in the Merle story where I made a literal spin-off about him. What if Gale died instead of Dewey? I have Dewey surviving, as well as, I think, a few other Gale and Dewey what-ifs. I even think I have one for Scream 6. So I'm going to say I would definitely hold that one off, especially with the timing and the angling of where they both were. Yeah. Dewey would be the only one to logically die in that moment unless he just didn't pursue trying to shoot Amber. What if Carnage was in Spider-Man 3 instead of Venom? Gargiulio! Hey, you're back on your account. That's cool. Nice to see you back on that one, man. I don't think I have Spider-Man 3 Carnage saved. I have Carnage being in other things, but I don't think Spider-Man 3. So you know what? That's number 4's idea. I saw the Merle story, one of my favorites you ever did. Well, no one ever said the Merle story was their favorite. They just said it was really good. Well, thank you very much for that. Where Sydney was in Scream 6, that's saved. What if Sam got stabbed instead of Tara at the start of Scream? Well, they were in way different locations, so that'd be weird to angle how it happens and like what goes on, and it's kind of a complex way to start the movie, more or less. Richie could have done it since he was with Sam. True. But that would have messed with Richie and Amber's plan to gather. Remember, Amber said it wouldn't work with just Sam. They had to gather the legacy characters to make it real. So that would have kind of screwed up the plot and whole motive for Richie and Amber. It would have made it a very complex movie. What if Jim survived? That's already done, along with a remake coming of it. And I plan to make Jim survive longer, or I did, in the McQueen story. By how much, can't say. And I think I have a few other Jim what ifs. I'm just not entirely sure. With Jim, I don't think he could do much. But I do have a remake for him surviving and like some other stuff planned for him. Yeah, I understand they needed Sam to come back to Woodsboro. Yeah. For some reason, I was confusing Woodsboro with Woodbury whenever I saw you typed that. What if Madison joined the Commonwealth? That's saved. All right, so yeah, there's nothing really to say about what I'm doing besides I'm taking a break. I could show you the second batch and like a reminder to what I have completed. It's just going to be a minute here. There we go. There we go. Here is what I have completed on the second batch, which you guys have probably seen countless amounts of times. Like I said, I'm very far ahead. I'm still on the Cliff story, and then you got 2 other stories on that first batch, plus these 2, which are done. So I'm very far ahead of schedule, which is why I'm taking a break. The first break I've taken ever since I've started YouTube, so 7 years? Yeah. I'm just that committed to YouTube. Oh, don't worry, Anonymous. I'm only taking a break on production stuff. I'm not taking a break on the channel. No way. Absolutely not. But production-wise, I am, yes, taking a break. Like the stories you see here, I ain't working on anything at least until we're probably done with the Cliff story. Like I'm done uploading it, you know? Then I'll get back. So that way I don't lose the progress that I'm making with being so far ahead. You know what I'm saying? What if Tomas killed Rick? Well, then he would promptly get killed and the groups would be leaderless. So honestly, Tomas surviving and several other Tomas and prisoner stories is the best way to go about it, especially in that scenario in which you're talking about. That's just a lose-lose. Tomas would not replace Rick, nor would anyone stand for them or him killing Rick. Tomas and the other prisoners would all just get killed. Which one of these stories here, because I know I talked to you guys about the first batch, which one of these stories here on this list are you guys most excited to see? Because I already know about the first list, which ones you guys were excited to see. The McQueen story especially. But what about this one? What if we could let Andrew join the group? Technically, Andrew and all the prisoners joined the group for a time. Tomas and Andrew were just the ones to turn traitor. Salazar and Wick? Okay. I can definitely see that because that one's going to be freaking fun with making Daniel a full-fledged assassin and both of them being in the same assassination program and putting Wick in The Walking Dead as a story instead of just a one-off, which will be what you see after the Cliff story and before the McQueen story. What if Judith died instead of Lori? Well, I have what if Lori killed Judith and actually went through with her plan. That's the furthest you're going to get. What if Morgan shot Jenny and the chick Hicks gets lost? Okay. Adam surviving Saw. All right. Definitely some good opinions. I'd say what I'm more like most excited to show would be probably between the Salazar and Wick story and then the second Big Bang, which will pretty much just be a one-off, but a very, very interesting discussion. I mean, I've only talked about it like 97 times. Well, if McQueen died then, Cars would basically be over. The entire point of Cars was to set up Lightning McQueen from becoming a rookie, snotty car into like a true good car, like someone who learns and goes on to build a legacy. To destroy that in the second movie, that would honestly just, I mean, the movie was mainly about Mater, but still, it just, My Lightning McQueen Radiator Springs, that basically kills McQueen. But overall, you just can't do it. Because at least in my story, with that one, my third most popular video, by the way, also, you like that? You're looking forward to Salazar and Wick 2 Anonymous? That's cool. At least in that one, I built up. And I plan to do a remake to at least touch upon further ground. And possibly not kill McQueen in the remake. My point is, I built up. But I feel that doing it just straight out of the blue, you're dooming the story. That's like killing Rick at the beginning. Or Goku at the, first possible danger. You just can't do it. Strip Weathers? Who's that? Hey, the person? Oh, the king? I have that saved already. I didn't know that was his real name. Interesting. No, I know that now. I looked it up, but he was always referred to as the king. I never heard anyone call him Strip. So, the person. I know on the first batch, specifically, you were looking forward to the McQueen story, but have you liked all the other stories beforehand and what's going on even right now? Or just looking forward to the Queen story in general? And then, which story here are you most looking forward to on this second batch? I don't watch Z Nation. Zombieland and The Walking Dead are my go-tos for zombie stuff. I plan to get into the 5-season iZombie off Netflix. I also got into Dawn of the Dead Bloodline or Day of the Dead Bloodline, just a short 1-hour Netflix film, but it's really limited. Honestly, as of right now, what if Troy died instead of Jake? What if Troy died instead of Jake? I have Jake surviving. Since Troy basically survived everything, killing him off like that would be a low blow. Especially, it doesn't feel right. Like I even said in my community post, Troy was basically immortal. Honestly, as of right now, I'm just looking forward to the McQueen story because that's been in the works for a while. I haven't watched too many videos recently just because I've been really busy. Out of your new list, I like number 5, which is me in the MCU, 9, which is Chick Hicks Get Lost, and 10, which Second Big Bang. I would watch all of those. Nice. Now I'm going to switch back over to this. I just figured I'd let you guys know what I'm working on and for the second batch one more time and what's completed, and the fact that at least until the Cliff Jumper story is done uploaded and I get to that one-off John Wick parter before the McQueen story, which will be the beginning or near the middle of August, that's whenever I'm going to start doing production stuff again. But for now, production-wise, I'm taking a break. But channel-wise, no way. Ain't no way I'm taking a break with that. But I'll watch the John Wick one too. All right, so that's 4 ideas so far for the stream. We got Carol meeting Michonne, Michonne dying instead of Andrea, Carver being a whisperer, and Carnage in Spider-Man 3. So how have you all, so how have all you guys been? Jack Sparrow in The Walking Dead is saved. I've been good, just grinding work. How about you, Nick? I've been doing actually really good past I've been doing really good in the past like week or so. As a matter of fact, let me look at the date here. My birthday was just 2 days ago. So, yeah. What if Morgan died instead of Jenny? Well, honestly, I have Dwayne living instead of Morgan and like Morgan dying instead, but Jenny, I have Jenny surviving, but instead of Morgan, I'm not pushing it, especially with not much done with Jenny's character. Her surviving is the best you're going to get. Honestly, I think we need more random villains in the story. People like Joe. What if the Saviors and Pioneers swapped? Pioneers? Oh. So what if Virginia and Negan swapped? I'm going to say because of the Sanctuary and just based on who friggin' Virginia and Negan were, it's best left where they were. Locations, you know? Nick, did you get a haircut? You haven't seen me with short hair? I've had it since, like, March. Yeah, basically had to cut it because cost of shampoo and conditioner, having to get it, like, literally almost once a week and like getting close and taking more care of my hair. I just want to get to good money, which I'm even more at now before I worry about growing my hair like longer than I did because that was the plan and then cost kept getting in the way. Thank you. Sleeper agent? Don't know what that is. What if the Saviors found Abraham? That, Rosita, and Eugene, several what ifs like that are saved already. How old are you? I mean, I'd rather not disclose because of personal life stuff, but 22. It's whatever. What if Daryl cut his hair in Alexandria? Then he would just look the same as he did, and none of the story would change. He would just look the same as he did all those years back. What if Daryl robbed the camp without Merle? He'd get himself killed. As you guys can see, my hair's starting to grow back, like, over my ears a little bit, because it has been since March that it was cut. And I plan to now fully grow it out. Like, beyond what I had it. You guys saw how long it was, even with the red and everything. Plan to get that done again. Not that I hate my blonde, it's just that red is honestly a much better hair color. Basically a super social. I'm just trying to make it more empowered than he already is. Trust me, in my McQueen story, you'll definitely love how overpowered I made him in that. What if the Claimers joined Atlantic Camp Group? I have the Claimers turning good at the point in which they find Rick, Michonne, and Carl. That's the best you're going to get. What if Merle joined Abraham, Rosita, and Eugene? I think I have that saved. And if I don't, I have plenty of Merle joining other groups, like way more than enough. Gene was a double agent? Well, then, if he was a double agent, then he would just get himself killed like, I know who you're talking about. Dante was his name. He would just get himself killed like Dante. So get this. I was at 1,020 subs, right? After I uploaded, like, I'm going to say it was the... What freaking story was it? Before I uploaded the Jigsaw and Cliffjumper stories, well, the one-parter Jigsaw, you guys know what I'm talking about. Before I did that, I had been stuck on 1,020 for like a month. And then the second that I do the Cliffjumper and Jigsaw stuff, especially now seeing all the support from the Cliffjumper one, I thought no one was going to pay mind to Transformers Prime. At least maybe the live action's way more, but Transformers Prime, there's way more fans commenting than I really thought anyone was, which shows that Transformers Prime is way beyond what people consider a kid show. Like, I feel that many kid shows nowadays, they literally just baby-sized from what were more grown-up, like, kind of shows. Like, take, for example, Transformers Prime and other stuff like that. And now you see stuff like that, they literally baby-sized it to make it so it's actually for kids. And honestly, for the originals, that's like destroying a legacy right there, you know? That's like making... I mean, they're kind of doing this with Dragon Ball Daima, but not really. That's like making The Walking Dead or Dragon Ball, like, for babies. Can you imagine? Would any of us want to stare at, like, some kind of cartoon? Cartoon. Would any of us want to stare at, like, a baby-sized Rick Grimes or Michonne on a TV? I'm just saying this, the vast amount of, and now I got like 40 subs just from that freaking Transformers Prime thing. It just goes to show people still care about those things. Denise would never replace Daryl. No way. What if McQueen had won the Tokyo race and never argued with Mater? The movie would have still gone the same, except McQueen and Mater would not have butted heads, and maybe it would have just been a better friendship thing to mark Cars 2 off of. Babyfied, that's what I was trying to go for. I was looking for the right word. I just said baby size because why not? It'd be crazy if they babyfied The Walking Dead. Like, if the zombies bite, you get the flu. Like, bruh. Can you imagine? I mean, we still only got 4 ideas, but I'm liking the conversation here, and I'm liking, like, everyone talking and everything, us talking about this stuff. It really doesn't matter. What if Ron didn't try to kill Rick? He lives. What if Ron survived? I have that saved, and I still think I have it saved. What if Doomsday Cult was in The Walking Dead? Hold that thought. Doomsday Cult? A Doomsday Cult is a cult that believes in apocalypticism and millenarianism, including both those that predict disaster and those that attempt to destroy the entire universe. Okay. That would just make The Walking Dead. I don't know if I really want to get into that. That sounds like a little too dark and crazy for my liking. I don't play the Far Cry games. Oh, what if Teddy was actually in, like, The Walking Dead? A few what ifs like that I have saved already. What if Daryl killed Dwight when he shot Denise? Well, then they wouldn't have gotten kidnapped in the woods. They would have been around for the lineup with the other parts of the group. Daryl would have had his crossbow back and wouldn't have had to get a new one, most likely. And after that, Fear would just not have Dwight and possibly even Sherry. And honestly, not too much of the story would change. I mean, Dwight helped out a little bit, but honestly, I still feel that the entire same story would have happened. It's just those small moments. What if the walkers from The Walking Dead could talk? If they were evolved that much, the world would have been screwed, because if you're going to make them talk, you might as well evolve them to the point of, like, Age of, what is it? Age of Z or something like that, or other ones that, like, the zombies can talk, run, and claw, and, like, that kind of thing. You might as well make them that evolved, and that would kill everyone in The Walking Dead. The closest you're going to get to that in The Walking Dead is variants and the Whisperers. What if Dwight killed Eugene? Then the story would Negan would have almost won, because Eugene was almost certainly needed. I'm going to say the story would have had major downsides. And if Dwight had killed Eugene then, I feel like the story would have just, like, Negan would have won, honestly. Thomas Crook's attempt to kill Trump had worked. You know, I would say that's going a little far, but I am doing Abraham Lincoln, John F. Kennedy, Hitler, and all real-life what-ifs. And if I were to limit this, that would be limiting the entirety of my channel with real-life what-ifs. So you know what? You got yourself a deal. I didn't even know his name. All I knew is that it was a kid. Can you imagine being a kid and, like, can you imagine being a kid and, like, literally thinking that you're able to assassinate the president? Man, John Wilkes Booth and the guy who shot Kennedy, like, bruh, if they were alive today, they would have given that kid, like, a stern talking to, if anything. Like, whenever I saw and heard and read about that, that's like the most lax assassination attempt of the entire world. I mean, personally, I don't. I mean, personally, I have nothing against Trump. All I know is what I've heard from other people and read about. Honestly, I don't care who's president, just as long as they do their job. We're all still living our normal lives and we don't get screwed economically and financially, which has happened. But I'm just saying my piece on it. But I'm gonna name the what if Thomas Crooks actually killed Trump. That's gonna make it sound like I wanted it to happen, honestly. But honestly, that's just me speaking my opinion, not to say that just so that I don't have people on here saying, "Oh, why are you talking about Trump like that? What are you, a hater?" And this, that, and the other thing. I'm not. I don't think that I've ever had a president, or that I've seen or read about, that I hated. Not that I know of. I mean, Biden could definitely do a lot better, but that doesn't tell me. I'm not saying that I utterly hate him. You know, it's different. I'm just a freaking weird individual. What if Merle and T-Dog swapped? I cannot see either of them being the same. Nah, I'm going to say no on that one. Well, technically, Merle and T-Dog swapping has happened in Destinies, and I plan to do that better as an actual what if. So technically, that will happen. What if T-Dog left the group and he was wounded and was found by the Saviors? I have T-Dog joining the Saviors, but it's more of a Destinies twist. So yes. Yes and no to that one. What if Virginia and Troy Ranch swapped? That would be like, what if Madison met Virginia? I don't know. I'm going to say because of the military influence with Troy and Jake and everything, and Virginia and their group seeming completely like ranch-like and like country-like, I'm going to have to say no. Only because of the military influence. Virginia and their people, besides Emil and his brother to a T, I'm going to have to say no. Well, if Shane killed Herschel, Maggie, Glenn, Rick, and probably anybody else would have killed him, and they just would have been down Herschel, and it would have affected Maggie and Beth's psyche 2 seasons early. I've played Red Dead Redemption, but it was only a test, really, from my brother's game. And I'm not really doing video game what ifs. My brother's mainly into that. You guys have seen him plenty of times. He's mainly into like video game what ifs. With me, I am specifically putting video game characters into franchises. If I'm going to do video game what ifs, I want it to be set in a video game set franchise and ones that I actually want to play and look into. Other than that, I just want to watch stuff and get into it. If I'm playing a video game, I just want to play it and analyze the characters. You know what I'm saying? But if it's something I really want changed in the game and I'm capable of changing it, then I'll do it. I don't know if I have anything saved like that yet. I say yet because I never thought I'd make a Lori survive. And look at me now. I'm literally making her survive and be important in almost every story after that. So I say anything can happen. It's not a set no, it's just not a yes. Ophelia surviving is saved. That's 5 so far. Surprisingly, we got a real... to be completely freaking for real with you guys, I knew that someone was going to ask me, or I was going to think of it at one point, about the kid actually killing Trump. And I even said to a lot of people, if it were Booth or the guy who shot Kennedy, they would not have missed. And honestly, a lot of people in the comments of other, like the Fox News YouTube channel and other things, they were slamming the Democratic Party and calling it desperation. I'm just like, well, all I had to say to the matter was that it was a lax assassination attempt. Other than that, I don't know. Honestly, if it doesn't affect my life and my well-being, I don't care what happens. I'm just very weird. But then again, we probably all already know this. Hey, we're all weird. It depends on how weird. If you're not weird, you're not human. That's basically what it comes down to. But yeah, even if it's 5, there's just still pretty good ideas. What do you mean? Elon Musk was the Commonwealth leader. I don't know what that would have done. That would have just been a convenient cameo. Probably not actually did anything in the long run for The Walking Dead. That would have just been a convenient and maybe cool cameo. Rick was the leader of the CRM. I have a what if. Now, whenever I do this, you guys are really going to think poorly of it. But I actually, whenever I watch The Ones Who Live, I have a what if for Rick actually joining the CRM and staying. Like whenever Michonne keeps trying to convince him over and over and over again, Rick is so far gone, he actually shuts her out and they get into a war, with it being a very, very dramatic and like heartbreaking story. I'm going to tell you that right now whenever I do it. It is not going to be a happy story at all. I wouldn't say it was garbage. I just think it was rushed. But it absolutely was not garbage. They did it justice for what it was worth. I just think that Heath, that's the one thing that I wanted. Actually, 2 things I wanted. Morgan and Heath, which we didn't get. But that's okay, because Dixon, it's confirmed to have 4 seasons, and Norman Reedus says he's going to play Daryl for the next 6 to 7 years. I'm not joking. And Dead City's set for a season 2, maybe even a season 3. We don't freaking know. So, The Ones Who Live, for what it's worth, bringing Rick and Michonne back, it's okay. Because we got enough. And we got to finally get Rick and Michonne back with their kids. Which was definitely enough, in my opinion. It's actually one of the few moments in The Walking Dead that I actually, like, teared up. Besides Rosita's death, and possibly another moment. I don't think there was another moment that I actually teared up. Maybe besides Rick blowing up the bridge, which I think just shocked me. But the only times that I teared up were Rosita's death and The Ones Who Live's ending. What if Caudron? It's Caudron. I'm going to say that I'm not going to do anything with Caudron until further development with Daryl Dixon is done, which we're getting season 2 coming up in the next month or so. So, yeah. What if Noah died instead of Beth? I have Beth surviving, Noah surviving, and other Noah and Beth stories saved, but that one, it would just be too close to some of my other stories, and I never want to do a story that shows too much material from another or doesn't have anything to offer in terms of an actual, story, even if it's just a one-parter. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Pope and Virginia. You know what? Just because of Emil, I'm going to make that happen. I was going to say I can't make it happen because they're so, not really alike. But just because Emil's there, can you imagine a Reaper-trained Emil? That would be freaking... Morgan would have to, pull out all the stops. Negan becoming leader of the Whisperers is saved already. That story is going to be coming up here very, very soon. What if Thomas Richards... that's saved there, Gargulio. Whisperers and Morgan, that's saved too. Pope and General Beale, that's saved. But that's 6 ideas. I'm giving our 5 minutes. I love how King Devin says saved. You got a good mind, King Devin. What? New memory for you. Look back in time. Gee, thanks, Google Photos. Have you started The Boys yet? That's still a very big maybe for me. I have it on the list, but I don't plan to watch it for quite a while. It's still a very big maybe on the whole thing of me watching it. I'm really thinking I might just go against it, just because from what I've heard and seen of it, it just does not interest me. I love how you both ask it at the same time. It's like you both knew what each other's were thinking. The only way Lizzie would be normal is if Ryan Samuels pretty much didn't die. Because I think that was the big thing. For the most part, that would be enough to cool Lizzie to a point where she wouldn't be crazy. And in my McQueen story, and I think in my Merle story, we have Lizzie with Ryan Samuels living. So that's the closest you're going to get. What if Major General Beale? What if Clockwork Orange drugs? Okay. I don't know any of who or what these people are. Major General Beale was the leader of Alexandria. Then you might as well put the whole CRM there, in which case the CRM would basically just rule. Trust me, this cook. I saw clips of actually. What if Dakota was okay? I think that I have some Dakota what ifs planned, but nothing really, just because of her character. It was really pointless. What if Beta fought Jason Voorhees? I covered that in my Jason Voorhees what if about Beta fighting Jason Voorhees. If I did that as a what if specifically, it would just be a takeaway from that story, which I explain it at least in a good manner. What if Merle killed the governor? If you watch my what if Daryl died instead of Merle story, he did. What if what would a shining villain do in The Walking Dead? He was just a simple axe killer, so he'd probably just get killed at the first possible danger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but his level of craziness does not, like, it doesn't show for the craziness in The Walking Dead. You get what I'm saying? It just doesn't match it. Alvin and the Chipmunks in The Walking Dead. Are you serious? I cannot think in any way, shape, or form. Trust me, I have goosebumps and like crazy, crazy things planned for crossovers in The Walking Dead, but that, I'm sorry, but I cannot think about how they would fit in. But I do plan to look in Alvin and the Chipmunks and make what ifs for them. So I think that's the closest you're going to get to an Alvin and the Chipmunks what if on the channel. The franchise itself. Oh, I want to bring something up right before we wrap up and I make my ending announcement. We're going to call it here. I want to go ahead and say something here. So, you guys know how I basically spoiled like Shrek and all these other franchises that I'm still planning to watch and do for the channel, even if I've watched them already? Well, for those like maybe the 2% of you that probably didn't hear it, Shrek 5 is actually going to be coming. It's got a July 1st, 2026 release date with all the original cast coming back. So, cool. That's Shiva what if for the Reapers. I will save as the last what if for today. But I figured I'd leave you guys with that because that's we were talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks, so I figured I'd bring up another franchise with just as many movies. With that, actually, yeah, they never made an Alvin and the Chipmunks 5. They were planning on it, I think. My point, we got 7 ideas here. Thank you guys so much for the 7 ideas and the continued support and everything like that. Yeah, I know it's a whole 1 year and a half. But this is where we're going to end here. Thank you guys for the ideas here and the continued support. For those of you who missed the stream, did not get to recommend a certain idea or ideas, it doesn't matter how many, or you just have something you'd like to add, something like that, you are more than welcome to recommend any and all ideas in my Discord, on any video stream, or anything like that. It doesn't matter. I will find it. I'll read it. I'll try and see what I can do. Doesn't matter how much. With all that said, thanks for the ideas. I'll see you tomorrow on the Discord, possibly later. Actually, I might even be getting on Discord to game and stream and do all that stuff like I usually do. And Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then next Saturday for the next Q&A. You guys get the drill. I just like to close off that way. All right. I will see you guys later.